Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Today I'm going to case another one of the cards from our holiday catalogue. And last week I cased this one and today I'm going to make this one. Now, as I explained last week, case just simply stands for copy and share everything. And because it's in the Stampin' Up book, I thought I would copy it and share it with everybody. So this is the one we're going to make, and it really is quite a simple little card. You need the gold foil, no, the copper foil, excuse me, the copper foil for this. This is DSP, this is card that's just stamped. This DSP here is actually the back of this one, and these are the copper elements, and although they don't look like the copper foil, it's the back of them and just coloured in with one of the blends. So let me show you how we're going to make it. I started off with Pretty Peacock as my base, and I'm going to put a piece of Berry Vanilla on the inside here. You know, I think sometimes we see these beautiful cards in the catalogue and then we go off and make our own, when really what we should be doing is sharing the beautiful cards that are already in there. Okay, and then I've got the DSP with the stripes on, which is just the back of this one. So let's attach that. And you can attach this with any glue that works for you. I am just using my fast fuse up. I've only got a couple of little bits and pieces left. I thought I'd used it all up already, and then I realised that I did have some half-started ones left. Now, you can see that on mine, I'm putting the stripes the other way up. Really, it should go that way, but the pieces of cards, the pieces of the DSP that I had left, I didn't have enough to go across, so I'm just using it and going the other way. But if you have a piece left that still goes this way and is wide enough, then use that. But because I didn't, that's why my stripes are going the other way around. Okay, and then I'm going to make all the 3 baubles that go on there. This is one of the baubles, and I'm going to use the large punch that cuts these out. I think it's called hanging ornaments rather than baubles, but I've always called them baubles, and that's what they're going to stay. Okay, so that's that one. And then I have a little piece of the copper foil, and it's been through the hammered embossing folder. And that's on here as well. It's, look, this one, hammered metal 3D embossing folder. So I'm just going to cut another one of those out. It doesn't want to go in there. Let's turn it round. It doesn't want to go in that way. It's got a little corner that's bent, and it's saying no thank you. But there we go. So that's that one. I save even the smallest scraps of these because they always come in for something. And then the third bauble is on Mossy Meadow card. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Versamark. You know how much I love using this. If I don't have the right colour ink, then I will use Versamark on the card, and it just looks like you've stamped with the same colour ink as the card. Versamark does take a little while to dry though, because it's the ink that really we use for embossing as well. So I would now have time to put embossing powder on and then get my heat gun out and dry it. So it's sort of a sticky ink, but it isn't dry there, so I have already stamped one in the Versamark. And as it dries, you can see the image gets darker and darker. So maybe that is dry now. No, it's still a bit tacky. So let's try, might not be able to get this in very easily. Let me find my my pen. Oh, I don't think it's there. Yes, there it is. I'll get my take your pick tool with a little bit of tacky on the bottom there. And I'm just going to catch it with that tool and sort of try and move it down into the right place for punching. I think it might help if I had my glasses on as well. Let's put those on. Just because it's a dark colour on a dark card, I want to make sure I've got it right. I'm just going to move it slightly. If it was a bigger piece of paper, I wouldn't be having this palaver, but there we go. I was trying to use up a scrap. Okay, so now we've got our 3 baubles. Let's see what we need next. I've got these 3. I need this one, and I need the little accent here. So I'm going to do this one next. Let's pop that away. So I've got a little bit of Very Vanilla. And the stamp we're using is this one that says Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly. But you can see that they've only used the first part of the sentiment on the stamp. And I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to get a little bit of washi tape. Excuse me while I just reach over. And I've already put my stamp on a clear block. And with the washi tape, I'm going to put this over the rest of the sentiment and only leave the piece that says Deck the Halls. You don't have to use washi tape for this. You could use a post-it note, a little bit of card, a little bit of paper glued on. But I like to use washi tape because it's so easy to take it on and off. Okay. And then you could put this into your ink block, but I'm going to show you a different way. And that's using the Stampin' Right markers. So these marker pens are really just the same as our ink. So you can use it either to colour little tiny bits in or as an ink. And right now I'm going to use it as an ink. So where the Deck the Halls sentiment is, I'm just going to lay my pen down and go over it. And it will work just like the ink pad. It's as though you've put it in the ink pad itself. And I'm just going to make it nice and wet. Put a little, make sure I've got lots of ink on and that I've got the very bottom of all the letters as well. Okay. And then I'm going to take off that little bit of washi tape and I'm going to stamp it on here. And it should only stamp the top part of the sentiment. There we go. So I will just wipe that off because I don't want it to be stained on there. Oops. One of these little cloths and wipe it off. But you could equally just do it with your ink pad. You don't have to have those. Let me find the small ornament cutter. And I'm just going to put that in so that the writing is right in the middle there and fairly straight. Let's have a look. And then we've got just that first part of the sentiment stamped out. So we need that. Then we need those gold foil. I keep saying gold foil today, and it really isn't. It's copper. So now I've got those copper foil elements, and it's these 2 pieces that we're going to use. One. Here's the second. Okay, and then I'm going to colour on the back. Let me just find a little piece of scrap that I can colour on, or a little piece of card. Okay, I'm going to colour on the back of this envelope. I'm going to turn them over, and you see how the one side is white? And I'm just going to go over with, what one is this? It's my dark old olive. I'm just going to colour the back. Now the tip on this one is a little bit frayed. I had them out at a card class last week and one lady was just a little bit too rough. I had said to be very, very gentle with them because they colour so easily. But she pressed just a little bit hard and so the tip is a little bit frayed at the end. As soon as she'd coloured afterwards, you know, she knew how gentle she had to be. But I think she thought it was more like a felt pen or a marker pen. And she was just a little bit too rough. That's okay, it still works. I just know that it's not a nice fine tip anymore. But if I do want the fine tip, I just need to take the other end off and use the little pointy end. I'm just going to go over that a little bit more, just so that it's got some depth. There we go. Pop that one away. And while we wait for those just to dry off a tiny bit, let's have a look at the rest of the card. See what's next. So we've got this, we've got these pieces, we've got this. I'm going to need a little bit of twine. And I think here they've drawn the strings, but I'm actually going to use twine on mine. And then we need to put the vellum on. Let's do that next. Now, when you stick vellum on, you can see through it where you've put the adhesive. So I'm just going to put a few glue dots on for now. And I sort of know that in the middle, about here, there are going to be those little leaves. So I'm going to put one little dot on the back there. And then I know my 3 big baubles are going to go across here. So I'm going to put a little, little bit of glue, a little glue dot going across here. You can always add a little bit later as well, so you don't need to have all the glue on that you're going to use right now. Okay, that looks fairly level to me. Once I've got all the bits on, I might just lift it up and put another couple of little glue dots if I need to. Okay, let's get some more glue dots to put these little leaves on. Now, I think they've used more than 2 pieces here because it looks quite thick, but I'm only going to use 2 of the pieces. Let me see. It would look just as stunning if you had the gold, see, I said gold again, if you had the copper side over. I don't know what it is with me and gold today, but I know they're not gold. Yeah, I'm just going to put a couple of glue dots on here to stick it down, and they do protrude over the back of the leaves, so I'm just going to get my little pokey tool and sort of poke those in, almost like folded over, so that you can't see them on the card. Okay, I'm going to put them on here. And I'm going to make sure that it goes over that one little glue dot that I put there, so that you can't see it. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. I've chosen the widest little pieces of the leaf to put the dots on, and that way there's less to hide, but it will still stick on. I'm going to pop this way around. There. Oh, I can see just a little bit of glue dot there. Let's move it in a little tiny bit. There we go. I will be using some more to put the twine on in a minute. Okay, now I know that my 3 baubles are going to go like this. Oh, wrong way around. They're going to go here, and we're going to have them sort of like that. And I'm going to attach my little pieces of twine underneath there. Now, what have I got? Have I got twine out? Not. I've got this green and blue twine. I might just use the green today. I think this is left from a paper pumpkin, but you could just use the linen thread. That would look really nice as well. I'm just going to cut 3 little pieces. I'm not thinking about how long they are. Actually, I'll cut 4. And then I'm going to stick them. I'm going to put them on top of the glue dot and roll that glue dot round them. And then I'm going to put them under these leaves so that you can't really see them. Oh, that one doesn't want to go. It's stuck on the first leaf. That's not where I want it. No, off you come. Let's roll that up again. You could put these on with a little tiny bit of wet glue as well, or you could draw them. Like, I'm pretty sure in the catalogue they've actually drawn them. This is a bit of a faffing about, but I think it'd be worth it in the end. Roll that round. I'm going to put the one over at this far side. I think if you drew them, you could have it just where you wanted. You wouldn't have to worry about which leaf you were sticking them under, or whether it was straight. There are my others, here we go. And don't worry about the length of them right now, because we're going to stick our ornaments over the top of them. Okay, I'm going to put one just sort of under here. It won't go under that one, but it would go under that one. And then I'm going to put the fourth one here, because this is where the little ornament will go that we did the stamping on. And we might as well put them all under to start with. Okay, let's stick that under there. There. So they might not be in the best place, but that's where we've got them for now. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to glue them down. Make sure that they're in a straight line. And I'm just going to put a glue dot over the top, and that will just catch them and keep them straight. Like I say, it would be much easier just to draw a line. I quite liked the idea of having an actual string. I don't mind when it's a special card. I don't mind taking that extra little bit of time. And then we're going to need another little piece here, just in a bow. So I'm just going to make a very simple little bow. I'll just make it so that the loops look about the same. Cut that piece off. Lay flat so I can see you. It's still a bit big. And I'm going to pop a glue dot behind that. And I'm just going to put that right in the middle. Is that where it goes? Yeah, right in the middle. Spread that bow out a little bit. With it being just about the same colour as the leaves, it maybe doesn't stand out as much. If you had the twine on there, I'm sure that would stand out more. But I'm happy with that for now. Okay. Right, and let's get our other pieces on. You could put these on dimensionals and have them each raised a little bit. This one definitely needs to go on dimensionals, but I want to put it in the male, and so I don't want it to be sticking out too far. I think this hammered one is going to be the most difficult to glue, because it's got like little dints and pockets and things, but we'll have a go. I think it's better with wet glue on something like this than tape. At least you can get lots of wet glue on the edges. Okay, and then let's pop this one. This one goes a little bit higher up than the other two. And just stick it straight over your string. I'm going to cut some of these ends off. But I know we won't need them quite that long. Okay, and then we have this one. Put some over here. I'm going to use the wet glue again while it's out. This one goes on here, yep, and a little bit lower down than that first one. And then here's our green one that we did with the Versamark. That goes at the very right hand side. And it just goes off the page a little bit, off the vellum a little bit. So I'm going to pop them like that. Okay, so that's our 3. Here's our 3 that we've got. And now I'm going to do this one. I'm going to pop that on a little dimensional, or a little piece of a dimensional anyway. Let's use some of these little pieces up. I want it to be stuck quite well. And I also want a little piece just on here. So let's trim a little piece off. That might be a little bit wide there. Let's take a little bit of this. And I'll take that thick piece off. So it's just like a narrow piece. Let's see if that works. Yep, that's just right. Okay. I'm going to take the back ends off these little pieces. And then, let's see, that just goes over here. Okay, now what do we need? We've got the twine, we've got the little strings hanging down, even though we've used string and not a pen. No, we just need these little copper elements here, these little copper stars. And when I made the card last week, I could have put those little copper elements on there, but if you remember, I cut them out with my little star, with my old star little cutter. Where have I put that? Here it is. So what you could do, if you don't have the elements, is you can just cut these out on some of this gold. No, you see, I said it was gold again. It's still copper. So you could cut those out and just pop those on. I'm actually going to put the little copper elements on. Or you could cut those out of the gold foil, the copper foil that you have left from here. Do you know, I'm never going to be able to say that it's copper. I'm pretty sure I'm always going to believe that it's gold. Right. So let's see. So we need to have, oops, we don't need to have the back of that dimensional anywhere. So we need to have that one up there. And then they have one at the other side of the string. And then they have a third one just round here. So there we are. I really like that. I think it's really very pretty. And let me see, I've got my envelope here and there's nothing on it. I wonder if this little piece of scrap is big enough. Yeah, look at that. It's just big enough to cut one of those out. And then I'm going to put a little bit of white glue around it. I'm going to stick it on here. You could, if you had more little pieces left. Let's see, what else have we got? No, scrap bin down there, not much. But you could, I don't think this will be quite big enough to cut another one out. Let's see, I think it's a bit too small. Oh, no, look, it does just fit. And I wonder if we could get one of these. So you could actually put 3 little ones on, look. Might just do that. Let's pop this piece on next. So those tiny, tiny little pieces of scrap that we had. And there we are, we've decorated the whole envelope. Wow. Well, that was a little bonus, wasn't it? I'm going to pop it down there. Still gives me room to write my address and everything. And I'm just trying to make sure that the glue goes all the way to the edges. It might be better if this one was hand delivered or hand given rather than go through the postal machines and it and it takes off the little DSP. But yeah, look how pretty that is. So there we are. That's the, let's check we got it all. Oops. That's the one from here. I know the paper goes the different way, but that's not a problem. But I think we got everything. What a pretty little card. And really very little stamping. We only had this tiny bit to stamp and this one bauble, and all the rest was either cutouts or we used the punch. So there we are. I hope you liked that, and I hope you'll give it a go. It's really, when you've got something like this and you're just copying, it makes it so much easier because you know what you're looking for. You know which inks you need. You don't have to worry about which paper to use or whether to use, you know, 2 big baubles and a small bauble. They're all just done there for you, ready for you to use. I'm really falling in love with this one too now. May have to be making that one. So thanks for watching me, everybody. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye.